Bruce.
Meeting is being recorded.
All right. Good evening, everyone. This session is being recorded and it'll be up on the Mastering Morse YouTube channel, masteringmorse.com. So if anyone is looking for hints and tips on learning or improving their Morse code, masteringmorse.com is a good place to start. Welcome again, everyone. This is a monthly Zoom session, or most months, that I run where I try to either talk about something that's relevant and interesting to those of us into Morse code in the Oceania region. And I also try to get interesting Morse code operators on to talk to us about their stories, how they got into the hobby, and hopefully to inspire us with their experience with Morse code. Been quiet for the last couple of months. A group of us went off to Lord Howe Island last month, so that was quite a distraction, but a lot of fun, and we might talk about that next month. But this month, we're talking about a new awards program called Morse with Purpose. It's sort of come out of an idea that Stan had generated quite some time ago. And we'll talk a little bit about the philosophy of the program and why we created it. And then we'll go through the rules, how you can go about it, and answer any questions you might have. I might throw it over to you if I can, Stan, just to give us a little bit of background as to what's sort of culminated in something that I'm sure is a little bit bigger than you'd originally envisaged, but hopefully will be a great program for those of us in this part of the world. Thanks, Dan.
Okay, Chris. Well, actually, a lot of the blame for this goes on Peter, 3WOW, who recognised that the concept of Morse the Morse with a Purpose Society was in fact a joke. It didn't exist, and you guys decided to build on it. So we've ended up today with a fairly serious adaptation of the original intention, which, funnily enough, attracted no attention whatsoever, apart from Peter commenting on how does this exist? What does it really mean? And I had to admit that it didn't actually exist. It was just a figment of my imagination. But what we've done, particularly Chris, has expanded upon it and created 12 options, at least one of which will appeal to absolutely everybody. But it's not an instant high pressure thing. It's designed for 12 monthly periods, beginning at the moment of your application to join, if you will. So you've got 12 months to earn, in Boy Scout terminology, some badges. There are 12 possible badges, although in some cases there are 2 for the one opportunity, in which case there'll be more than the 12 if you if you really get stuck in. But I'm certainly not going to be ever able to achieve all of them. So there's no reason for you guys to fear some kind of superiority complex mowing you down. It's just not going to happen. The idea is that you take part in these things as and when you can over a period of 12 months. And during that time, as you gain badges, you also gain a bronze, silver, or gold award. And those will go up on some kind of leaderboard, which we haven't really devised yet. I think that pretty much sums it up. So back to you, Chris.
Terrific. Thanks, Stan. And I think before I flick over to the website, the original concept really came out of, I think it would be fair to say, the randomgram activity, Stan, and we sort of built on that. So what I'll do is I'll jump over to the group's IO page, and I think that's the best way for me to explain it to everyone, because then it will also be a bit of a walkthrough for you on how to access the awards program, how to understand the rules, and how to earn each of the badges. So before I move on, can everyone see that that website? You can. Good, thanks, Andy.
Yep.
All right. It's we've set it up on the Groups IO platform for a few reasons. First of all, it was free, no cost. It's well suited to a program such as this, with the way the file structure works, and for people who are interested to subscribe to it and get automated emails. So to start with, the website is groups.io MWP, Morse with Purpose. And if you go to that website, if any of you are familiar with Groups.io, I'm sure many of you are, there's a lot of amateur radio activities that have focus pages on Groups.io. So firstly, the homepage, if you like, describes the program, and I'll just flick through it. I'm not going to read it in detail, but it's a program that's been designed to inspire and recognise commitment to the art of Morse code. What we wanted to do was offer something that was a little bit more than just contesting, or just chasing DX, or just having stock standard QSOs. We wanted to provide a framework for people to do the things that they perhaps enjoy in the hobby, as well as try some things that are a little bit different. So what we've done is we've put together essentially an awards program that runs for 12 months from your date of registration, as Stan indicated. And there are 12 different activities that you can participate in. It's an awards program, not a club, and activity badges are earned progressively. There's no time limit other than your 12-month period, and there's no other pressure per se. There's no particular speed requirements other than for one or two of the activities. And there's nothing else that would deter you guys who are beginners from having a go at the things you're comfortable with, or using some of these activities as a part of your improvement program over the coming 12 months. So as Stan indicated, all up there are 12 activities that you can participate in, or 12 badges that you can earn. And in fact, there are, I think, 2 activities where you can earn more than 1 badge. So the total number of badges you could earn in theory is 14. We've wanted to make it a staged or a stepped awards program. So the bronze level requires 2 badges to be earned in 12 months. The silver level requires 4 badges, and the gold requires 6 badges. Gold with honours requires any 8 badges. So in terms of your interest level or your commitment or the amount of time that you've got to put into the awards program, hopefully there's something there for everyone in terms of feeling that you can achieve an award. All right, going through each of the badges or the activities. The first one that we thought was the most fundamental one was education. And that's anyone who undertakes a CW Academy class or completes a Long Island CW course would earn a badge. And that's a pretty good recognition. Those of you that have done the CW Academy know that it's an 8-week, fairly intensive class, and we felt that recognising that with a badge was appropriate. So anyone that's completed a course in 2026 can credit that for their first 12 months. The next activity is the out and about, recognising a lot of people love to get out and about on the weekends doing POTA, SOTA, WWFF, or such activities. So if you get out and activate 10 parks, summits, or WWFF sites in a 12-month period, you qualify for an out and about badge. Similarly, if you're a chaser and you like to get those POTA, SOTA, WWFF activations in your log, you need to collect 50 of those over the course of 12 months to earn the Out and About badge. So once again, a completely different take on one of the activities. The next activity is contesting, fairly traditional for you guys that like having a bit of a go at contests. But again, there's two takes to this particular activity. One is the CW Ops test, weekly 1 hour sprint tests, if you like. And it's just dawned on me, I'll add to that the medium speed tests, which are on Monday and Tuesday. They're not quite as fast, but I think it would be good for those guys that aren't perhaps up to CW Ops speeds. If you want to go in the medium speed tests on Monday or Tuesday, that would also be recognised. So I'll add that one to the list. The other badge you can get in the contesting activity is the more generic major CW contest activity. So that's where you might go in one of the big weekend contests like the CQ Worldwide contest, the CQ WPX, maybe the FOC contest, the CW Open contest, the Oceania DX contest. So any one of those very large worldwide contests, if you go in one of those and you make a minimum of 100 QSOs over the course of that contest, that would qualify you for a badge. The next one, really the activity that kicked this off, random grams, something a little bit different. And thanks to Stan for his promotion in recent times, we've gone from having only 2 or 3 participants to 6 or 7 participants. The random gram is a little bit different. It's once a month. You register via a Groups IO platform page to receive a list of 5-character groups. So it harks back a little bit to some of the Cold War numbers stations type activity. And over a 24-hour period, your goal is to work other stations calling CQRG or randomgram and exchange those 5-letter groups. To make it more practical or pragmatic for those of us here in the Oceania region, there is 2 activity hours from 0700, or is it, no, it's 0700 on the Sunday of the randomgram each month for Oceania station activity. And it was certainly very good this weekend just gone by. I think we must have had at least 5 or 6, maybe 7 VK and ZL operators participating. So that's something a little bit different if you haven't done anything like that before. It really exercises a different part of Morse code for you. The next activity is DX Marathon. This is it's like a 12-month contest is the best way to describe it. It's a contest that runs for 12 months. Your objective is to work as many DXCCs and CQ zones as possible. Your score is the sum of the two. So if, for example, you work 60 DXCC stations and 10 CQ CQ zone areas, you make the 70 points that's required. And go and have a look at their website. It explains the rules and how to upload your logs, and like a lot of the other contesting programs, it'll calculate your score for you. So that's another good one for those of you that like chasing DX, but perhaps don't want the hustle and bustle of a weekend activity. The next activity, not entirely dissimilar to the randomgram, is called the Cold War activity. And that's where you will need to copy 5 CW numbers stations accurately. So there'll be emails go out periodically notifying you of a numbers station activation, usually with 5 to 7 days notice. That station will first transmit on 80 metres and then on 40 metres, and it will send out 5 groups of 5 alphanumeric characters. Your goal is to copy those accurately, email them in to the administrator, and you'll get an email back confirming if you've copied them accurately or not. So that's another good one. The next one, traditional DXCC awards program, 75 points or more in a calendar year, or 50 points or more for QRP operators. And that's just trying to recognise that it's a little bit more difficult here in VK and ZL to get your DXCC, especially in 12 months, and especially if you're only running 100 watts into a wire antenna, and even more so if you're running QRP. So that's another badge you can earn. The next two, excuse me, the first one is the straight key badge or straight key activity. And the purpose of this one is to demonstrate you can send competently with a straight key at 15 words a minute or more. So the objective here will be to arrange a couple of SCEDs or QSOs with other operators who are competent with a straight key, and you'll need to send a couple of phrases, and they will need to assess that they copied those phrases in a certain time period to indicate you met the 15 word a minute speed limit. The next one is the bug activity or badge. Essentially the same, but a little faster at 20 words a minute and using a bug or a mechanical key. And when I show you the details page, you'll get to see more detail about each of these activities. Right, we're on the home straight. The next one is the RAG-chew activity or badge. And the objective there is to complete 20 RAG-chew CW QSOs, a RAG-chew being defined as a QSO taking at least 15 minutes. So again, it's about building your stamina to be able to have a QSO over an extended period of time. The next couple, very much around the history of the hobby. The first one is around telegrams, and Stan's put together the detail around that, but you need to initiate and answer 10 CW messages composed and recorded on prescribed telegram forms. So there's more details for each of those when we have a look at the details page. And the last activity is the Enigma activity. And that's initiating and answering 5 encrypted CW messages, ideally on air, but if for whatever reason you want to do it off air, you can do it off air. So that will involve copying the messages and then decoding them with the online Enigma code engine. So that's a summary of the 12 different activities or badges. Hopefully you can see that there's, as Stan said, there's something for everyone, a good variation of activities. And even if some of those things you might feel are beyond your capabilities today, you've got a period of time to practice and prepare yourself for that activity and for earning that badge. All right. I might just quickly show you the claiming badges page, and then we'll see if there are any questions. So as you can see, moving down here, we can click on this and it takes us to the claiming badges activity rules, the details page. I'm not going to read through this verbatim. You can have a look at this in your own time, but the education badge is pretty straightforward. The out and about badge, I think those of you that are involved in the outdoor activities will be very familiar with the programs like SOTA, POTA and WWFF. The contesting badge, as I said, I'll add the medium speed tests to that one. The randomgram badge, the Cold War badge, the DXCC badge, the straight key badge, bug, RAG-chew, telegram and Enigma. So all of the details for each of these activities are described on this page. Very quickly, before I open it for questions, we also have on the messages, we have finding other operators for each of the activities. So you can send the owner an email, that's MWP plus owner at groups.io, and I will update this list. So if you're looking for someone to have straight key QSOs with, you can have your name and call sign registered here. The same goes for bugs, ragtools, telegrams, or enigmas. You can also, by clicking on the messages, see everyone who's participating. So we've already got half a dozen there, or 5. And today is the kickoff date. So anyone that is registered prior to today, your start date is today. I see there's a couple that have come in already, so I'll add you guys later on this evening. All right. I think, Stan, is there anything else you wanted to add before I open it up for questions?
I can see I can see a couple of things that we might have to edit, but they're very, very minor. And the general idea is there. Are you copying, by the way?
I am. Loud and
good.
clear.
Okay. There's no indication on screen at the moment that anything's happening. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's very good presentation, Chris. It sums it up. And hopefully it shows you chaps that this Morse with Purpose is designed for beginners right through to the old well-seasoned operators. There are no exclusions whatsoever, and it's simply a matter of calling for help if you're keen on doing a particular badge, not sure how to do it exactly. But yep, it's very good, Chris. Go ahead, please.
All right. What questions are out there? Go ahead.
I presume you don't have to do them in any particular order.
No, any order you want, Jerry.
Okay. Thank you.
You envisaged how I or somebody else might present their affiliation with this program or progress with this program on their qrz.com page at some point?
Well, I suppose as a starting point, there's always the logo, Peter, along with a link to the Groups IO page. What we hope to do in the next little while is to create electronic badges for each of the programs. And then we're looking into whether there'll be medallions or small awards that we'll issue that'll get posted out to you. CW Ops do quite a nice little medallion. Let's see if you can see this. There we are. So that was for this 2024. That was bronze award. So that's for achieving 24 points in the CW Ops tests that CW Ops run each year. And at the end of the year, their administrator looks at 3830, the contest reporting page, and pulls the data from it automatically, counts how many valid sessions that you participated in, and then they arrange these very nice little medallions. So we're looking into the viability of something like that, bronze, silver and gold, or a small plaque that we would be issuing at the end of the year, Peter.
Need some way of sort of it becoming self-promoting, as it were, as a program.
Yeah, I'm open to suggestions. I think other than the best promotion is the people participating, and then if we have ultimately a better website where we can be posting that, on the various forums, whether it's WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever poison people choose to participate in.
Probably be helpful
Excuse
if
me,
people
Chris.
post activities on.
Sorry, Chris. I just wondered, with the contesting, does that include any WIA contests?
Yeah, look, so long as they're a significant contest, Kevin, we haven't we're not excluding any contests per se. So I think if it was something like an RD contest, I guess for some of the local contests, you might struggle to get 100 QSOs in CW. But by all means, if you've got any queries, just shoot an email through to the group's IO administrator, and we can answer that. I saw someone hold up was that you, Jerry, holding up an AR magazine? You're on mute, Jerry.
I just got it out of the mailbox.
Right. I mean, certainly it'll be in the August edition of QTC.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And if one of you WIA members would like to submit it and a news item to AR magazine.
Must I?
Well, if you're a WIA member, it would be appreciated.
I'm a member of both.
I'm sure one of the ZLs could get it into break-in. And then, as I said, there's the usual channels through Facebook and WhatsApp and what have you.
I do think the QRZ page idea is a good one because people look up QRZ pages. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Bob?
Yeah, I've got a contact in QTC magazine.
Oh, terrific. That's handy. But I mean, yes, for you guys that are happy to do it, please feel very welcome to take the Morse with Purpose logo off the group's IO website, pop it on your QRZ pages with a link, and that helps promote it, of course, for those people that, because I mean, let's face it, we've all got QRZ pages and everyone visits them. It's almost the first thing you do the first time you work someone. And look, the other thing, we're open to feedback. So certainly the first 6 months, we'll be looking at who's participating in the various activities. If people are giving us feedback that they're either too easy or too hard. And if you can think of another activity that would add value to the program, by all means, please let Stan and I know. We originally started with 19 activities and we felt it might be a bit overwhelming. So we trimmed it back to a dozen, which just seems to be a nice, I was going to say round number, but it seems to be a nice number to start at.
The timing, Chris, and how you're having people start as they log on. How does that then fit with a lot of the programs which are calendar year programs?
Right. If you are involved in an activity this year, say, for example, CW test, and you complete, you get a gold award for CW Ops test for 2026, that can be used for a badge for this program.
Yep.
What we've done for kicking off the program is we're saying anyone that's done a CW Academy class and completed it successfully in 2026 can use that for a badge, even if they're starting today. If you do your DXCC this year and complete it, or DX Marathon's probably a good one because that's on calendar years, that will count for the program for this year. But then you can't use it again until your next cycle, if you like.
Are you envisaging that people will use this Groups IO as other Groups IO forums are used, where people just can freely create a topic? Is that set up so that anybody can create their own topic?
Yeah, I've set up, let me open the screen again. Pete. Go back to there. How do I get that back?
In summary, Peter, you can communicate with that site, produce material for it. It just has to be checked first. It doesn't automatically appear.
Okay, so it's not like if I'm in the
No, it's
the
not a
Morse
not a
forum
blog or
where
a forum.
it's not a okay, so it's not like the Morse forum where you can just post a question and other people will answer it, that sort of
Have
thing.
you got a bit more audio, Peter? I can hardly hear you.
Sorry, so it's not like the Morse forum or the Morse Runner forum where anybody can just start a new topic, sort of saying, "How do I do X with Y?" and people will answer you out of the blue. It's not intended to be set up like that.
No, it is supposed to be what you might call censored, but of course the word censored is far too hard a description for this one.
What I've done is I've set up hashtags. Are you seeing my screen again?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, good. I've set up hashtags for each of the 12 activities. And again, it's something we can trial. So what you can do is, where is it? Preferences, settings. You can send in an email to what is it? MWP plus
Owner, isn't it, Chris?
plus, oh, that's me, owner. What's the email address if you want to send a generic email? Can anyone remember what that is? It's the same for all of these groups IO. Can you remember, Peter?
No.
No. There is, when you get an email from groups IO, it actually tells you down the bottom.
Peter, I think it's just mwp@groups.io.
Yeah, that may well be it. I'm just trying to find the list of email addresses. But
if you go to the home one up the top, it's right, and then it's right down the bottom of that page.
Thank you. There we go. Right, if you want to just post to the group, it's mwp@groups.io. It will, anything you put through at the moment, I'm I'm moderating. So I'll get a notification to approve it. So if you, for example, wanted to open a topic to discuss, I don't know, let's just say a Sunday net at 5 p.m. Eastern time for straight key practice, you could send a note to mwp@groups.io with the hashtag straight key. And that way it'll be categorized as a straight key topic. I think, as Stan had suggested, we were starting off with it mostly being a site for pushing information, and if you had queries, you'd send them to the owner. So MWP plus owner at Groups.io. But I think let's give it a go and see how it works. If you guys want to send posts into mwp@groups.io, everyone will be notified, and then you can all participate in the discussion. For those of you that haven't used Groups.io before, when you first join, your notification is set to default, so you will get an email every time someone posts to the group. You can come in and change that. You can change it so that you only get a daily summary, which is what I do for most of the groups I'm involved in. If you don't really want to participate in those things, you can also opt out.
Hey, Peter, while you're on that page there, if you scroll down just a little bit, or just back up a little bit, where you've got the link, that MWP plus owner, the actual email address behind that link has an extra character in it, so it doesn't work. So that might be one to fix it. I tried it just before and it's got an MWP. See down the bottom corner there, it's MWPS plus owner.
Ah, right. All right.
Just if people try and register, they'll get a bounce if they use that link.
Although they've been coming in. I've got, as you can see, I've already got 3 come in since we started the session.
Well, they haven't been coming in through that link.
They might have typed the email address or something, yeah.
All right, I'll fix that. Thanks for pointing that out. All right, I think, Peter, that was you raising that question. Yep, hopefully that helps answer it. All right. Are there any other questions or comments at this stage? No? All right. Well, look, if anyone has any questions about the program, drop me an email. All the details are there. And if that's not working for you, just send it to my vk3qb@hotmail.com. And the program kicks off today. So any activities from today count towards the awards. As I said, over the course of the next little while, we'll put together some award badges, and we might have to put that table up on another website, but we'll get that organised. And we'll also prepare for either medallions or small plaques, as those of you who want to get your bronze, silver or gold with honours as the year unfolds. All right, next month, couple of options. We might pull together some of the team who went to Lord Howe Island last month for the DXpedition, and if that's something that interests you, you might want to come along and listen to what it was all about, to be at the pointy end of the pile-up and ask questions and see some photos of Lord Howe Island and how we were set up and operating. Or I'm trying to organise a guest speaker as an alternative. Yes, Gary.
Good evening, Chris et al. I'd just like to thank Stan for the invite, and g'day to Scotty and to Kev. Haven't seen you for a while, so thanks very much for the invite, and I hope this is a great program. Thank you very much.
Terrific. Yes, Peter.
Chris, I'd like to put in a bit of a plug for Randomgram for some of the people who are here right now who might not know about it. You explained it quite well. We explained it very well. But what mightn't have been clear to relative newcomers is that often the speed at which these Randomgram transactions occur is often very slow. It's not a wham bam thank you ma'am type of activity. My impression listening to a lot of the American stations that were operating over the weekend was that they were often operating around 12, 14 words a minute. And in fact, sometimes slowed down to effectively 7 or 8 words a minute when they actually sent their randomgram. If you're sending a randomgram, you want to make sure that the person on the other end gets it correct, because the number of points you score depends on them getting it right. And I heard some randomgrams being sent very, very slowly, and in a completely appropriate way too, I thought. So it's not a forbidding activity, even if you're quite new to CW.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks for raising that too, Peter. I know, look, when I was calling CQ, it was at 20, 22 words a minute, but quite often I slowed it right down, partly because conditions were really, really poor. I know you and I had a QSO, Peter, and it must have taken me at least 4 or 5 overs to get your exchange.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So look, it was also very rewarding to have worked hard to get that one in the log. So I appreciated your tenacity, Peter.
Well, do you mind if I bring up another aspect to Randomgram?
Go ahead.
Peter also found out and got confirmed that using SDRs is an acceptable way of gaining points by intercepting the code groups being sent by other people, not necessarily to you. And admittedly, it's only 1 point per correct per correct group received, but boy, do they mount up. So you don't even have to have decent propagation conditions. You can listen to them on the internet, and all you need is to dial up a favourable SDR in the States, and boy, they all just roll out at you. And that is indeed one of the things that Peter was saying about extreme consideration given to live participants. There was one fellow, Dan, W9DLN, who I sent a message to on the SKCC site saying, Dan, if you're not careful, you're going to get a reputation as the most considerate RG operator on 40 metres, because he really went to a lot of trouble to make sure that everybody with whom he communicated got copy 100% right. He was very, very keen on getting his points. So anybody, even without a transmitter, in fact, we had a ZL doing it, a new fellow to ham radio who's currently visiting his mother in the UK, listened, Chris, to our exchanges last night, and he's going to submit them as an SWL for 1 point each, just the same as we get. So it's a very, very good thing to get hold of, and extremely powerful for learning.
Yeah, excellent. Good. Thanks, Stan, and thanks, Peter. We might, with your permission, Peter, pick up on that email you sent a while back on how to do that, and maybe we can make that available for other people. Terrific.
Sure.
Great. Thank you. All right. Well, before I close for this month, are there any other questions or comments or requests for future monthly Zoom sessions? Yes, Peter.
I know that you have in your circle an antenna genius and an antenna professional. I'm thinking of Andy, VK3OU. You've told me in the past that Andy would probably not be very comfortable giving a kind of freewheeling presentation, but it occurred to me that Andy could possibly be persuaded to give a presentation on using modelling software, perhaps Mana Gal is a common one, to model maybe 2 or 3 common antenna types, thinking vertical, dipole. Well, let's just leave it at vertical and dipole, and step through how changing some of the parameters of those antennas in a model changes their performance in a model, particularly, for instance, their low angle radiation, which is relevant for DX. I just thought if he was given a kind of a brief like that, he might be willing to present, because he's a very clever guy.
Yeah, oh yes. I'll have a chat with him and see what we might be able to organise, because yes, that would be a great topic, and I think we'd all get a lot of value from it.
Would follow up from the one that you did with Callum.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. I sort of got Callum on my list maybe for later in the year to do a talk on receiving antennas, because I know that's something a lot of us would get a lot of value from as well. But a good suggestion, Peter. I'll pop that one on the list as well. All right. Well, I've seen in the background there's been a few registration requests come along in the last little while, so I'll get to those now. But thanks everyone for joining this month. And this has been recorded, so it'll be up on the YouTube channel in the next 24 hours. And please spread the word about Morse with Purpose. I think, or I hope, and Stan shares that the more people that get involved, enthusiasm breeds enthusiasm, and we'll get dozens and dozens of CW operators across our region participating in this program in the coming months. I think it'd be not just a lot of fun, but it's going to help us all to really build on our skills. So thanks again for joining this evening. You know where to find Stan or I if you have any questions or suggestions for the program. And we'll hope to see you on the Groups IO for discussion, catch you on air, and see you next month.
Can you hang
Thanks,
around
Chris.
a bit?
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you all.
everyone.
Thanks, Dan.
See ya. Good night.
See you later. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.